すべてのドラゴン族はこの壺に封印されます。
Welcome to the last day of Retro Month, where I take a random dragon card from the past and talk about it off the cuff. And thank you so much for watching these videos. While I do play Yu-Gi-Oh! Today, I really enjoy going into the past, looking at old cards, and there's a lot of these cards that people don't know about, and sometimes they have value to the game today. So let's take a look at what the jar caught for this week. And it is the Spear Dragon, and this came from Legacy of Darkness. So as you can see, it's a super rare. So again, during that time, it was a pretty big deal to pull super rare because you were not guaranteed a foil card in each pack like you are today. You were guaranteed a rare, but not a foil. And if you pull a foil, especially if it's an anime card, you're like, oh wow, like it was so exciting. Now, Spear Dragon wasn't the anime. I think it was only once, I remember. So, people still did get excited when they saw this card, but it wasn't just the anime. This was actually a really good card at the time. It introduced the idea of piercing damage. We call it piercing damage today, but the way the card describes it is you just do damage by the difference of the defense. So that's how they described it back then. And this is also a level 4 monster with 1900 attack. That was unheard of. Usually the highest attack you can get for level 4 would be 1800, so which is why the Genie, the Mystical Lamp, was often a staple in beatdown decks. But there were other cards that had like 2000 attack with level 4, but they always came with certain conditions, so they weren't exactly free. So in this card's instance, what would happen is you can normal summon him and you can attack. And of course, if you attack a defense position monster, you would do piercing damage. But once you finished your battle phase, this card would have to go to defense. You can see he has 0 defense, so that left him very vulnerable. So this was one of those cards that it was a quick punch, and odds are he would not live into the next turn, because once your opponent went, well, they could get anything. They could normal summon a Karibo and just kill this guy. So most people didn't really expect Spear Dragon to survive into the next turn. The only way you could do that is if you were to have a mirror force, like a protective trap set, because this guy did not come with any protections whatsoever. So if you want to take a quick swipe at your opponent, especially if you equip it with something like an Axe of Despair or even a Sword of Dark-Seated, you can do some damage to your opponent, because it's common knowledge back then that if you put a monster in defense, you're guaranteed to be safe, but not anymore, not with Spear Dragon. Now, there's another equipped card called the Fairy's Meteor Crush. I don't remember if it came before or after Spear Dragon, but that basically gave piercing damage to everything. So if you equipped it to a Blue Eyes White Dragon, for example, that was pretty devastating. But the fact that you can normal summon a level 4 1900 beater was still pretty important during the day. That means nothing today, but it was such a huge deal. And anytime you can get a monster that was level 4 that had 1900 attack or more, people will stock up. And Spear Dragon was in high demand for that reason. 1900 level 4, but the piercing was almost a bonus. Back then, people were trying to get the grips that, okay, what that really meant. But when your opponents were playing monsters just upon defense and they had really low defense power, every bit of damage you can do really meant something. So Spear Dragon, I can't say it was in high demand, but people were intrigued by him. And it was really important to the history of the game, as I already explained about the concept of piercing damage. So did any of you play the game back then? Did any of you use Spear Dragon or the Fairy's Meteor Crush? We all know about the Fairy's Meteor Crush. So anyway, thank you so much for watching Retro Month. Do any of you have any really cool retro dragons? Let me know in the description and the comments below. But as always, remember to be a good sport, play the game, not the fame. See ya! Thanks for watching! If you like what you see, subscribe and be sure to click on the bell for notifications. You can also check me out on Facebook. The link is in the description below. Happy dueling!